Thanks to all of my generous subscribers on Patreon for supporting my videos, especially Princess Heather Blossom, Kyle Christensen, Shady Oak Ministries, Stephen A. Wilson, Emerald Spencer, Rek, Bootleg Bard, Rain Coon, DJ Skywalker, Sodden Girder, Sid McConroy, The Silly Fox Zoroark 720, Auto Knight, Princess Sunshine Sparkle, Senko, Janen Kellogg, and the Equestrian City Heroverse series. Be sure to check out their content links in the description and thank them for all of their support.
Here's up, you milk drinker. I'll try to talk like you and maybe you'll ken a little better. Did West Tower ever teach you about meditation?
He taught me 3 meditation techniques. 1 for breathing control and posture, 1 for visualization, and 1 for stress management and problem solving.
Aye, but it sounds like you didn't learn about problem finding, eh, laddie?
I guess not.
So today, you're going to leave the body to walk through your past. Hopefully you'll catch a glimpse of what set you on your path, remembering what you've forgotten and why. Now sit. Magic flows through the very fabric of Equestria. It's like your blood moves to the heart which takes the path of least resistance to harmony. There may be blocks, but they can be moved around, and the flow state is stronger when the blocks are taken down entirely.
How do I start?
Take a deep breath and remember the day you got your cutie mark. Don't think about what you felt like when what you were doing and feeling when it appeared. Hold on to that feeling and clear your mind. There'll be a pull. Now, whatever you do, dinna dive into that pull, or you'll be at the magic's mercy and won't be able to come back.
Wait, what? You know, magic has a sick sense of humor, making me feel back pain during an out-of-body experience. And bringing me back to early Ponyville. Frick.
Just in time for breakfast for dinner.
I'm torn between wanting to preach about eating healthy, wax philosophical about how all meals are technically breakfast, and indulging an excuse to eat pancakes.
Pear jam? Wait, hide it!
FBI, open up!
There is a long-standing feud between the apples and the pears.
And it all started with that godforsaken Perry the Platypus. Okay, apparently magic doesn't like puns either, and the literal universe is against me.
Why? I'm not really sure.
What is it with you apples and your traditions that you can't remember the meaning of?
If any pony knows about the feud, it's the family historian.
Are you sure about that? The family historian is a crazy cat lady hoarder who lives in the middle of nowhere and can't even keep her books from getting smudged.
Pears are just what happens when you ain't no good at farming apples.
To be fair, I've heard that apples can be a tough fruit to produce, but I also don't really know the process behind it. The only thing I do know is about that one time my father tried to plant an apple tree at his house.
Pears are nature's candy. Apples are sour.
To be fair, pears are the only fruit I've encountered that can rival bananas in terms of how fast they expire.
If Granny read to her trees at night, why then Grandpa had special blankets made for his trees so they wouldn't get cold.
Again, that sounds like nonsense, but I don't know enough about farming to refute it.
Are you saying our mother was a pear?
Okay, sure, but where the heck are the oranges in all of this?
So we are half pear?
Does it really make sense to say that you're half of a family name? I think it might be closer or more accurate to say something like, I'm half an earth pony. But apparently this is pretty shocking. Oh, you know, that punishment in and of itself is technically a pun too.
You got more trees than any pony in Ponyville.
Sam Elliott, what are you doing here?
Well, you owe me a new silo, boy.
I'd imagine he'd owe you a lot more than that after potentially drowning several months worth of crops and ruining your water supply for just as much time.
Back when I was Chiffon Swirl, I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
And what about back when your name was Cupcake?
Candied pears, eggs, flour, sugar, and vanilla, and told me to just be creative.
Well, that sounds like a literal recipe for disaster. And also, did you just throw glass and burlap into that mixing bowl?
Get away from those gosh darn apples.
There is literally no reason for you two to dislike each other aside from being petty and prideful on a level just shy of the Hooffields and McColts, and take it from someone who just recently found out firsthand you are on a train ride to disaster. And I also just remembered that you can't hear me, gosh darn it.
We're gonna need one more pony to tell that story.
Gosh darn it, if you know the answer, just tell us. I can barely handle the suspense. Aha! I was ready for you that time.
Uncle! I had the honor of officiating your parents' secret wedding.
Because that's not going to cause a schism in which this young couple ends up with no lines of support from either side of their family. They've already shown how petty they can be, and I know there's nothing we can do about it now, but if someone could at least try to think things through and strategize, we might not be referring to people's parents in the past tense right now.
But the apples are my family now, too.
Yes, exactly. So maybe you two should have been more open with your families from the start. Yes, it would have sucked at first, but certainly not any more than it sucks right now, and you would have given both sides a chance to go through the stages of grief before accepting that and, at the very least, coming to terms with each other. Then you could have all had a chance to plan your moving around that, instead of springing it on your father, who's already finalized plans to move himself, his family, and his business across several time zones, or your now mother-in-law, who will very likely drop the both of you, both sides in such a rage that nobody ever sees each other again, whereas we could have all just tried to do the right thing from the start and not make each other choose between family. Isn't that right, Father?
Are you making me choose?
Yes, I am.
That's it. Come here, you. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the show was called A Buck to the Face, but it looks like I was mistaken. It looks like at some point in time, I unknowingly crossed over into It's a Wonderful Life! Oh. Well, she's still got half of a family then. Well, that turned out slightly better than I expected.
Can I call you Grandpa Pear?
Does it matter if I'd rather you didn't?
Learning about our parents and our grandfather.
Which one? You know that biologically speaking, you can't exist without having two grandfathers, right? Where the heck was Granny Smith's and Grandpa's other halves in all of this, and why are we so bad at tackling the circle of life head on?
It's beautiful.
Once again, I am 100% certain it doesn't work that way, but I don't know enough to properly refute it. Alrighty then. I heard Wholegrain say that I was at your whim. If whatever this was is over, I'd like to go back to my body now. Okay, seriously, what was the point of all of that? My gut is still in knots from that fight with my brother. I feel like I've been running for 3.5 years and it's barely been 3 weeks. And the will of the magic is to make me watch someone else go through something similar? It is kind of similar, isn't it? Yeah, granted, nobody pulled a sword, but everyone was kind of being selfish and letting the problem fester to that point. That's not an environment where harmony can happen. I'll have to make it up to them someday. Okay, we're falling again.
45 minutes. Not bad, laddie. Maybe next time you'll ken a lot of me speech before kissing the abyss. Did you enjoy seeing how Equestria was made?
I'd say it's closer to how Ponyville was made, and no, I did not enjoy that. But I did learn something.
Aye, that's how it goes. Now, get up and meet me in the bakery, you cream puff.
Did you just call me a cream puff?
No, I said, would you like a cream puff, you fairy cake?
I'll be there in a minute. there's something I'd like to try first. Alright. This time I won't jump in. But if magic has a will of its own, then there's something I'd like to see, if you'd be so kind. There's a story from before I was born that my father told me once. They're good people with a lot of love and got blinded by it. I did what I had to do. Someday I'll make it up to them.
You've lost your wings, you've lost your way. Your life's become some kind of amateur play. Your dialogue is pretty bad. How many rewrites did this episode have? On a mystic path to find out who you are. To remind yourself that you're a shining star. Your mind will soon be pulled apart because you didn't figure out this deadly magical art. Whole grain's really gonna be annoyed that you got trapped in this endless void. There's only one way out of here, and that's to let go of your fear and look back on everything you've learned. Is it mythic wrath to smite your enemies? Is it endless power to do just as you please? Or are peace and calm what's true? In the end, the choice is up to you.